The play is on 18th November, this Saturday. I'm calling upon all Ugandans to come and support theatre. Our aim of this show is to awaken theatre to the world. We are trying our best to awaken Ugandan theatre to the world. Tugezaako okulaba kyonna kye tusobola okulaba nga tuzza theatre engulu. Era ndi musanyufu nnyo okulaba nti theatre essaawa zino omuliro at least gweyongeddemu. Wano waliwo festival egenda maaso ne ku Batifali gyeri. So kitegeeza nti theatre ye Uganda for now omuliro gutandise. Bino bibadde bikolebwa bayimbi, but I'm very happy nti theatre and calling upon all media houses bonna ne bajja kulwa theatre. It's also a win to us. Thank you. The show is on 18th, 100K ordinary and 3M VIP. Tubasaba mukeereko mu budde okuyingira emitwalo 10 emmeeza ya miliyoni 3. Tubasaba mukeereko mujje come support Bannayuganda abaana abato abavubuka ab'omulembe omutebi amaanyi gakyaliwo and ne bitukola tubyagala. So bambi nsaba mujje mu bungi. Ken, welcome to Uganda. Thank you. You coming here is already a win to us as theatre practitioners. We are so humbled and honored to receive you here and receiving you at our home, Uganda National Culture Center. We are so happy to receive you. We've been waiting for you. We are eager to receive you here, and I can tell you everyone is happy to see you here. Agenda kubazanya naffe 18 era nsaba Bannayuganda tanagula tiketi yo gigulenga bukyali. Hello
everyone. I'll say yes, I don't pass as a Ugandan. I've been here for over 5 years now. So I have 3 Ugandan names. Mugisha, Okot, Chiwanuka. So it's been wonderful. It's been really amazing being here in Uganda and working with, I call her Nanjuma because we met at the set of the Honorables. And her character is Nanjuma, so I've always known her as that. Zubeda is just what you guys call her. I'll always call her Nanjuma. So when she reached out, I have this thing that I believe in Uganda entertainment industry, especially the movie industry. Being part of it, I have loved my experience, and I thank everyone that has made it easy for me to work here. I see my sister, Stella Nante, who's going to be part of this amazing event. She has been wonderful. Dr. John Sedawa he's a father. That's what I can say. I thank everyone here, and being part of this is an honor, it's a great privilege to work with Uganda and Ugandans in the industry. Bringing my brother here. The truth is, I'm an Igbo man, so I can't break that bond. I can't. But
okay. So I forgot to mention, I appreciate him. He actually facilitated the meeting between myself and Zubeda. Theatre can almost not be without music, because music is an integral part of the theatre, especially performances, and that is why we have the orchestra. I don't know if we find it easy to detach with. It's not possible, because theatre goes with music, and music is that oil that keeps performance going. So that's why it's very integral in performance. So at some point, music and theatre were inseparable. Performance was all about come and showcase what you had. But you see about theatre declining, it's not really a deliberate thing. I think it's the evolution of social media and the availability of film, for instance, and sometimes the decline in theatre also came about insecurity at some point, because post-colonial Africa, there were still thriving theatres in the whole of Africa. But at some point, because of the military intervention and all of that, Africa had a stage where it was very insecure. People were scared of leaving their houses, for instance, to go watch performances, and patronage dropped a lot. And you saw people who could do things on their own. For instance, musicians who could just get into the studio, record their songs, go and do a video and put out there. So it seemed that there was a lull in the theater culture. But I think with things happening now, we are beginning to see a revival, and we can inculcate in it. Since theater practitioners have been part of music performances and projecting musicians, I think it's about time we talk about collaborating with them in terms of music videos, in terms of social media contents, in terms of promotions. Theater practitioners can do actually stuff. You can take up an artist song and do something along that line. There are musicals, there are dance dramas, there are various kinds of performances that occur in the theater. And these are various avenues I think we can tap into to support each other and protect each other and enrich what each other is doing. So I think with what we're seeing now, for instance, you talked about the social media or the media not giving theater the kind of visibility it should. What I am seeing now does not testify that, because I think if things like this occur often and you throw it in their faces and they get to see that there's a thriving theater culture, the sky will be a springboard. Thank you very much.
We've been crying about copyright as one of the challenges why we're not producing enough, or what we are producing doesn't get consumed, or if it's consumed, producers don't get anything. And I just want to get it from you, if it's true of what we're reading, that even in Nigeria, it's still the same vice of copyright is an issue. There is a piracy hub in Abuja. They are called the Abuja Boys, who do piracy at 90% even, but the industry is thriving regardless. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, you correct me, the industry started about 1991. There were also from Peter Dodge, Justice Asiri, Sam Loco FM, may his soul rest in eternal peace. John Okafor, whose leg has been amputated, I don't know if it's true. The Ramsey Noahs, Emeka Ike, Desmond Elliott, Genevieve Naji, the young boys, we call them young boys, now they are mature guys, Osita Ihemi and Chidewiki Dieze, among others. They've done a great job. So my question is, you've come to Uganda right now, you've interacted with some actors, I think, and those are some of our challenges. How are we going to overcome the challenges? Yet I know that maybe you've faced some challenges, but you're still going. Are we just scapegoating around? Are we not creative enough? Because we have very, very rich stories in Uganda. We have virgin stories. Even if you want to make Marvel movies, we have our stories of the Kabakachi tools. You understand? So, are we not creative enough, or there are some other issues you can help about? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. You have a very, very valid question. The truth is, I believe as of today, Africa still has the best stories to tell. We just haven't been able to tell our stories at the appropriate time, in the appropriate way, and for the appropriate audience. We have allowed the West to describe us, to tell our stories from their perspective. But up until tomorrow, Africa manufactures stories. Just you walking along the streets now, before you get to the next junction, you would have seen something that will evoke an idea. That is how Africa is vibrant with stories. But our problem usually in the film industry, to answer your question, is lack of government support. No industry can thrive in a country where the government does not give them maximum support. I am talking from experience. In Nigeria, for instance, Nollywood is the third, like you know, is the second highest producing movie nation in the world after Hollywood, and the third in terms of revenue. No, it's the second in terms of revenue in Nigeria. Nollywood is the second most, grossing industry in Nigeria that brings in money into the country. And then it is the third highest employing industry in Nigeria because of the volume of production that goes on every single day. Nigeria releases almost 2,500 movies every year, and they all find their market, and the actors live well, they are well paid. There is an audience for the film. There are platforms. For instance, there are lots of Nigerian films on Netflix as we speak, Amazon Prime and other movie platforms. So And all this came about because our government at some point stuck out their neck to support the industry. Like he said, it started in the 90s. Although prior to that time there had been movie making in Nigeria, but there was no structure. But from 1992, 91, 92, it became an industry. And it started with just individuals who were just seeing it as a business. In fact, these were men who were importing. Then it was, what's it called? This video cassette player then. VHS, yes. They were using it to import Indian films and other foreign movies into the country. So at some point, the piracy law came about in America and all of that. So most movies were not allowed to be viewed in other countries. So and at that time, they had stockpiled cartons and containers of VHS cassette. They didn't know what to do with. And an idea came up. They decided to just record movies with it and fill those VHS cartons with it and sell to the public. And it became an instant booming market. So at that time, there was no structure. Actors were struggling. But at some point, because we needed to fight for the future of that industry and for piracy, because like you said, piracy was a very huge interference. But the government stepped in and put in laws. And we set up National Film and Video Censors Board. There is National Copyright Commission. So they put in structure so you cannot infringe on anybody's property.
Theatre practitioners, these guys, the Ken Erics, they love what they do. They love theatre, they love the film industry, they love their talent. And I'll get their information in Jari. Get cola to the Agari. Zendagala new theatre, no glam bange will not theatre. Take up Nesgala and Mukaru. Government in the Sabi. I've begged the government to sponsor me in this festival. But enough na answer. No answer. Nsaba government ye Uganda kabe muwagira abayimbi mutuwagire. Ngabe muyita abayimbi mu parliament nga n'olumu ekituufu kye baba twalidde tetukiraba. Ne mubawa amatu, ne mubawa obudde naffe tusaba mutuyite. At least tubalaze nti we can.